All right. 2.2, multiplying polynomials. Let's look at these definitions before we start. Two polynomial functions or expressions are equivalent if they simplify algebraically to give the same function or expression, or they produce the same graph. Two polynomial functions or expressions are not equivalent if f of x is not equal to g of x for the same input value of x. Let's say you have two functions and you substitute, let's say, 2 in the same in those two functions, and you don't get the same result. Means that they are not equivalent. Okay. So example 1, we're going to do again expand and simplify. Okay. So let's look at part A. We have 3x times x plus 2. So we distribute 3x to each terms in the bracket. So 3x times x gives you 3x squared. 3x times 2 gives you 6x. Now, we are going to do the second part, but you need to remember now bed mass. Okay. Bed mass tells you to do the exponent first before you do multiplying or dividing. So therefore, we have to do the exponent first before we multiply it by this number 4. Okay, so minus 4. So first I'm going to expand 2x plus 5. There is a shortcut for that. First I'm going to do it with FOIL here. Okay, so 2x plus 5. 2x plus 5. When you are taking the square, right? 2x plus 5 square, you multiply 2x plus 5 by itself. So if you do the FOIL, 2x times 2x, 4x squared, 2x times 5, 10x, 5 times 2x, 10x, 5 times 5, 25. So you get 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. If you use the shortcut, let's say you have, let me give you the formula first. If you have a plus b squared in general, so the shortcut would be take the square of the first term, a squared, and use this sign, because that's going to be a sign of the second term, and then multiply first and second term and multiply it by 2. So 2ab plus take the square of the last term, b. So b squared. So that would be the shortcut. If we apply this to 2x plus 5 squared, okay, so we take the square of the first term, so 2x squared. So use the sign, this plus, and that's going to be sign of the second term. Then we multiply first and second term and multiply all of them by 2. Okay, 2 times first term 2x, last term 5, plus square of the last term, so 5 squared. So that gives you 4x squared when you're taking the 2x, square of the 2x. So you square 2 and you square x. So you get 4x squared plus, so this gives you 10, 20, 20x plus 25. So you get the same results. But you need to get used to this shortcut. It's going to be very helpful, especially when you're factoring. You kind of need to know perfect square trinomials. Therefore, it is important to get used to use this shortcut. Okay, so what we got here is 2x plus 5 squared, 4x squared plus 20x plus 5. Okay, now let's distribute this negative 4. Negative 4 times 4x squared, negative 16x squared. Negative 4 times 20x, negative 80x. Negative 4 times 5, negative 20. Now collect the like terms.
Miss that?
Yes.
It's 25, no? 20x plus 25?
Oh, yeah, I copied it wrong. You're correct. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So that gives you then 100, right? There
Yeah.
you go. Okay, thank you. 3x squared minus 16x squared minus 13x squared. So we have positive 6x minus 80x. So it gives you minus 74x. And finally, we have minus 100. Okay, let's look at part B. We have multiplication of binomials here. Okay, we're going to apply FOIL. So we multiply the first terms, 12x squared. Then outside terms, 3x times negative 5, negative 15x. So let me write FOIL here. Okay, so this represents the first terms, O outside terms, I inside terms, L last terms. Okay, so now we did F and O, I inside terms, 2 times 4x, 8x, 2 times negative 5, negative 10. Now collect like terms, negative 7x minus 10. Okay, let's look at part C. We have binomial and trinomial. So when you do this multiplication, you multiply each term from the first bracket with every term in the second bracket. Okay, so we take x, multiply every term in the second bracket by that. Okay, so x times x squared, x cubed, x times 2x, 2x squared, x times negative 8, negative 8x. Then we take the second term from the first bracket, again multiply every term in this we take the second term from the first bracket and multiply every term in the second bracket by that. So negative 3 times x squared, negative 3x squared, negative 3 times 2x, negative 6x, negative 3 times negative 8, positive 24. So now we collect the like terms. So we have x cubed, we have positive 2x squared minus 3x squared, so minus x squared. Then we have negative 8x, negative 6x, negative 14x, and finally we have 24. Part D, we have 2a minus 1 cubed. So we can write this as 2a minus 1 times 2a minus 1 square. Okay, so actually, this is 2a minus 1 times 2a minus 1 times 2a minus 1. So again, this is same as 2a minus 1 times 2a minus 1 square. Okay, so 2a minus 1, I'm going to now take the square of 2a minus 1. I'm going to apply this shortcut. Okay, what do we do again? We take the square of the first term. So 2a squared. When you do that, like I did here, right? So you square the number and you also square the variable. So 2a squared gives you 4a squared. Now, again, using the shortcut, if you have, let me write that shortcut for minus. Okay, if you have a minus b squared, again, you square the first term, you keep the sign for the second term, then you multiply first and second term and you multiply them by 2. So 2ab and you square the last term. Okay, that is a shortcut for a minus b squared. So then, since we have a minus here, that's going to be the sign of the second term. Then we do 2 times, okay, should I write it here? 2 times first term times the second term. So that gives you 4a. Okay, so negative 4a. And then plus square of the last term. 1 square is 1. Okay, using the shortcut, that's how you would take the square of 2a minus 1. Now, we have a binomial and trinomial to multiply. So again, take each term from the first bracket and multiply everything in the second bracket by that. So 2a times 4a squared, 8a cubed. 2a times negative 4a. And when you're multiplying, make sure you take the terms with the sign in front of them. 2a times negative 4a gives you negative 8a squared. 2a times positive 1, 2a. Now take the second term from the first bracket. Again, multiply every term in the second bracket by that. So negative 1 times 4a squared, negative 4a squared. Negative 1 times negative 4a, positive 4a. Negative 1 times positive 1, negative 1. Now collect like terms. We have only 1a cubed. So we have negative 8a squared, negative 4a squared, negative 12a squared. We have positive 2a, positive 4a, positive 6a, and minus 1. Any questions so far? All right. Let's look at part E then. Sure. Let me keep it. Is it okay now? Okay. You're welcome. Okay, let's look at part E. This time we have a trinomial and it's multiplied with another trinomial. So when we do such a multiplication, again, we take each term from the first bracket and we multiply every term in the second bracket by that. So we take a and multiply all those 3 terms by that. A times a squared. A times positive 2b, positive 2ab. A times positive c, positive ac. Now we take the second term from the first bracket, multiply every term in the second bracket by that. Negative b times a, negative ba, negative b times positive 2b, negative 2b squared, negative b times c, negative bc. Okay, now we have the third term from the first bracket. Again, we're going to multiply every term in the second bracket by that. So negative c times a, negative ca. Negative ab and negative bc, what do you mean? Negative ab and cb? Oh yeah, sure. The order doesn't matter. You can write, instead of BA, you can write AB. Instead of writing BC, you can write CB. No problem. Okay. Okay, so negative CA, negative 2BC, negative C times C, negative C square. Now we're going to collect the like terms. We have 1A square. Okay, I don't see anything else. AB, we have 2AB, and we have BA. Again, BA and AB are the same thing. The order doesn't matter. So 2AB minus AB gives you positive 1AB. So we use this so far. We use this so far. How about AC? We have 1AC minus CA. So AC and CA are the same thing. So that is gone, right? And we have negative 2B square. Now BC is negative BC, negative 2BC. So negative 3BC. And finally, minus C square. So let's look at part, oh, that should be F. Okay, let's look at part F. All right. Okay, before we multiply by the numbers, first multiply actually the binomials. That would be easier, okay? So that you don't have to deal with the big numbers. So I keep the 4. First, I'm going to multiply these two binomials here, okay? So do the FOIL. X times 3, 3x. X times x, x squared. Negative 3 times, negative 4 times 3. Negative 12, negative 4 times x, negative 4x. I'm going to do the same thing with the second part. So I'm going to keep the number negative 3 here. First, I'm going to do the FOIL here, and then multiply it by negative 3. Okay? So make sure you use brackets as you do these multiplications. So x times x squared gives you x cubed. X times 2x gives you 2x squared. Negative 5 times x squared. Negative 5x squared. Negative 5 times 2x. Negative 10x. Before I multiply it by the number in front of the bracket, first I want to collect the like terms here. Okay? So I recommend you to do the same thing. So I have x squared, I have 3x and minus 4x. That gives you negative x minus 12. Okay, so minus 3. So same thing here. I'm going to collect the like terms first before I multiply it by the number in front of the bracket. So I have x cubed. 2x squared minus 5x squared gives you minus 3x squared minus 10x. Now distribute the numbers. So 4 times x squared, 4x squared. 4 times negative x, negative 4x. 4 times negative 12, negative 48. Now distribute negative 3. Negative 3x cubed, negative 3 times negative 3x squared plus 9x squared, negative 3 times negative 10x plus 30x. And on the final step, we're going to collect the like terms. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in descending order. Descending order means you write the terms, but first you write the highest exponent, the terms with the highest exponent, and then go to the lowest. Okay, so I have only one x cubed, so negative 3x cubed. I have 4x squared plus 9x squared, 13x squared. Negative 4x, positive 30x. So positive 26x. And finally, negative 48. Okay. Example 2. Are the following expressions equivalent? So to be able to do that, again, we need to expand this expression and compare with the second part. Okay, let's do the expansion. Again, I'm going to keep the number first here. Okay, and I'm going to do multiplication of this binomial and trinomial before I multiply with the numbers, like we did here. Okay, so x times 2x squared, 2x cubed, x times negative 4x, negative 4x squared, x times 5, 5x. Now take the second term from the first bracket. Again, multiply everything in the second bracket by that. So negative 3 times 2x squared, negative 6x squared, negative 3 times negative 4x, positive 12x, negative 3 times 5 gives you minus 15. Okay, and we still have minus, well, you can get rid of the bracket right away there. So negative 1 times 3x and negative 1 times 6. So negative 3x minus 6. So there is negative 1 here, right? We already learned that before. Okay, now we can expand this, okay, distribute that to, but actually let's simplify this bracket first before we multiply by that constant. So we have 2x cubed, we have negative 4x squared, negative 6x squared, negative 10x squared, and we have positive 5x, positive 12x, 17x, and finally minus 15. Okay, now distribute the 2. So 2 times 2x cubed, 4x cubed. 2 times negative 10x squared, negative 20x squared. 2 times 17x, 34x. 2 times negative 15, negative 30. Okay, so now let's collect the like terms. We have 4x cubed minus 20x squared. So 34x minus 3x gives you 31x minus 6. Okay, so as you see, these two now compare, right, this with that. So they are not the same, right? So two terms are same, but last two terms are not same. They are not equivalent. So let's look at this part B. So we have 4x plus y minus 3 squared. And we're going to expand that and compare it with this expression here. Okay, so 4x plus y minus 3 times 4x plus y minus 3. Okay, so no shortcut for this. We're just gonna, do it a long way. So you take again every term from the first bracket and multiply every term in the second bracket by those. Okay, so I'm gonna take the first term from the first bracket and multiply all three terms by that. So 4x times 4x, 16x squared. 4x times y, 4xy. 4x times negative 3, negative 12x. Now take the second term from the first bracket. Again, multiply every term in the second bracket by that. Y times 4x, 4xy. Y times y, y squared. Y times negative 3, negative 3y. Now we still have the third term from the first bracket. So distribute that. So negative 3 times 4x, negative 12x, negative 3 times y, negative 3y, negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Now let's see, collect like terms. So we have 16x squared. So we have 4xy, another 4xy. So 8xy. Okay. What else? We have negative 12x, negative 12x, negative 24x. We have y squared. We have negative 6y plus 9. Is it the same? Compare. So 16x squared is the same. So that is negative 8xy, and we got positive 8xy. So this is not the same. Same thing from 24x, negative 24x. They are not the same. So the rest is the same, but these two terms have opposite signs. So this is also not equivalent. Okay, in question,